Trudeau's Minister of Justice and the Attorney General of Canada, that would be David Lametti, if I'm not mistaken, reassures Canadians that expansion of medically assisted suicide for mental health will need more work in 2023. Good golly, Miss Wally, what does he mean by this? Let's roll the video.
Yeah.
We have heard concerns of Canadians and experts about whether the healthcare system will be ready to accommodate MAID requests for persons whose sole medical condition is a mental illness by March 17th, 2023. This is a very complex question. Many are concerned about how this will impact them and their loved ones. We know we need to get this right in order to protect those who are vulnerable and also to support an individual's autonomy and freedom of choice. For these reasons, today we are letting Canadians know that our government intends to work with our parliamentary colleagues in the House and Senate to negotiate an extension of the March 17th, 2023 eligibility date. This will require legislation. This work will begin in the new year. Right now, we want all Canadians to know, especially those exempted by the current exemption of eligibility from MAID, that we plan to take this next step. This is a top priority for our government, and we want to reassure Canadians that we are committed to ensuring that our laws protect everyone while supporting the autonomy and freedom of choice that are central to Canada's MAID regime.
Well, Drea, this is a story you've covered in some of your reports. What do you make of what Lametti just said there?
Well, my background is in mental health, and this makes me nauseous every time I hear this. I'm so ashamed of Canada. They say this is a top priority, and it's freedom of choice. It's not freedom of choice when you are battling mental illness. You can't make choices properly, and there are so many people who struggle with suicidal like they fantasize about suicide over and over, but it comes in and out of spurts, and it can be triggered by something that happens, a tragic event. You lose your partner, whether it's just a breakup or a death. And then these people are going to be able to do this in our country. And it's a top priority to figure out how fast we can allow them to kill themselves. It is so evil and vile, and I'm concerned for the moral repercussions should Canada go down this path. I really am.
Oh, as am I, Drea. And I think on this file, the most egregious story of 2022 was that veteran suffering from PTSD who called into the Veteran Affairs Office and basically right off the bat, hey, have you ever considered just killing yourself? The first, go-to solution to this poor veteran's problem. Imagine that, somebody that put his life on the line for Canada, suffering from PTSD, and your number one option is to convince this guy that death might be the most attractive option. Absolutely despicable. And I know we're going to keep our eyes on this because this is something that's getting more and more into vogue, and it makes me shudder, quite frankly.
For me, it's the discussion of killing babies that obviously don't have a choice in the matter, that's even being considered. But Sheila Gunn-Reid thankfully has done also a lot of coverage on this and actually has started a campaign. If this makes you as sick as it does make us, please go to helpnothomicide.com. I'm sorry, I always struggle if it's .com or .ca, but helpnothomicide.com or .ca.
and isn't it so perverse, really, Drea, that as you mentioned, when it comes to babies, the left is pro-abortion. When it comes to people suffering from whatever mental affliction, oh yes, please do commit suicide. And yet, like I said earlier this week in Missouri, a first-degree murderer, you see the media and certain Democrats going to bat for him simply because he is pretending to be a she, and not even considering the victim of this man, who was a woman in her prime, who was raped, murdered, and then thrown in the Mississippi River like a piece of trash. I can't connect these dots whatsoever, but thank goodness that Rebel News, despite what Justin Trudeau wants to see happen to us, we are alive and kicking in 2023, and we're going to continue to cover these important stories, the stories the mainstream media wants no part of, or gives you a narrative that is, quite frankly, contrary to common sense and common decency.